Hi, I'm Valerie,
And I'm Taylor.
and welcome to
Whimsy Gossip.
where we talk all things fantasy.
And our favorite ways to escape reality.
Today's episode.
Today we have Cory Fowler joining us. We are so excited. If you guys probably see all his content all over social media at so many different event spaces. And if you watch our fan film, then you probably recognize him as our Azriel.
Yee! The best Azriel in the world.
We love
Aw,
him.
thanks for
We
having me,
love
guys.
him.
Yeah, that was really surreal being able to watch that, by the way. Watching it on YouTube like over and over and over and hearing it all the time.
Yeah.
I got to like see it in person, having it live. That's kind of cool. So I'm a part of you guys. I'm a whimsy gossip girl.
Stop. You're girly, a whimsy gossip girly.
Oh my god, I love it.
I'm just kidding.
I for one can say just right off the bat, I didn't care about Azriel at all. Like, not only did I
Alright,
not care about
thank you.
Morgan, my character, but I also like was never into Az. I just feel like there wasn't enough on the page. It wasn't until these films and
Yeah.
actually playing Morgan and also like doing scenes with you, I realized like how much there actually was there. Even though there's so little, there's so much. And I was like, wait a minute. This guy's pretty freaking cool, and like he's so loving and he's so caring, and we're gonna get into all of that, but I just did not care for him. And now like Rhys is still number one, but I'm like he's definitely above Cassian, because Cassian's just like he's there. But yeah.
Well, on
so.
that note,
And I don't know, how did you feel
Yeah, he's my brother.
about Azriel, Taylor? Like, let's just give like our initials before we get into like his
Okay,
life, and maybe we'll think differently at the end of the episode, like I did with Nesta. So
I think I guess Azriel was like a here nor there. I don't think he said enough for me. When people were like, "Oh, I love like he's so mysterious," and I was just like, "But that's a problem because I need some banter. I need someone to go off of. I want to see his like his other side." And I just feel like I never got enough of Azriel. But then I will say the movies also changed me. And it was, if you saw chapter 70, the scene, and I've said this a million times, when Cory snaps someone's neck going to save Elaine, or Azriel snaps someone's neck to go save Elaine. I remember sitting there and being like, oh,
fake snap.
oh yeah, fake snap. I just sat there and was like, am I an Azriel girly now? Like, am I understanding this hype that everyone keeps talking about? Like, this mysterious shadow man just comes out of nowhere, doesn't say a single word, just winks at her and like snaps her neck, or like that person's neck, and saves you. Like, I was like, maybe I can get behind the hype now. Maybe I can understand the hype. So I feel like Azriel is someone I would just look at as like, I don't know, like I would maybe not go after him just because I like a lot of banter, and I don't know, I just need someone to like banter back and forth with a lot. But I feel like I would trust Azriel as like one of like my confidants and my friend. Like I'd be like, Azriel, let's go out clubbing. Let's go to Rita's, and I'm gonna drag you on the dance floor. I'm gonna be a little tipsy. You're probably gonna be stone cold sober, but you'll be taking shots with me, maybe, and we're gonna have a really fun time. I'm going to get you by the end of the night to sing karaoke with me.
He does sing. Fun fact.
Yeah, he does.
sing.
But he'll
He can
sing
sing.
so much better than I
Shadow
will
Singer
because
sings?
I'm
What?
yeah, like I mean, yeah, I feel like that's my vibe with Az. So that's where I am. That's a long story short.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Cory, how about you?
I mean, you
there's
gotta realize you're the one that like made that choice to put that scene in.
yeah, it's true.
That scene doesn't happen in the book. He's like, I stay here or I get tied to tree. Okay, I'm not leaving.
We
I'm
wanted
staying
him to
right
do
here.
something. You feel like he
You're like, we need him to. Az needs to move. And I mean,
I think it
technically,
was
which is
a.
wild,
I mean, how
didn't
do you
think
feel about
this.
that choice? Do you feel like it was realistic though? Like, could be canon?
I don't see why it couldn't happen. I think he's mischievous. I think like his pull to Elaine definitely would allow him to be a little bit like. He would definitely break the rules to pursue Elaine. I think for sure, at least in this moment,
Yeah.
for sure. And if it's to protect, at this point, somebody that he's had good moments with, but like Vera's sister.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
Yeah, his
she's high lady. Like he has. If he knows something's gonna happen and he doesn't go out and protect her, like I feel like there would be like that
Animosity.
that really awful like paradox of like, oh well, if I had the choice to do it, like should I like, and I didn't do it because I was listening to the rules, and like maybe I shouldn't feel bad, but I have to feel bad because I knew I could have stopped it if I didn't. Like
Yeah.
the inner turmoil would have like torn him apart.
Were you
We
happy
already
that
know
it was
there's a lot of
added?
that inside of him already.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
2 questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I just feel like his shadows
Yes,
probably
I'm happy it was added.
included it. Like, well, clued him into
Well,
what
yeah,
was
his
going
shadows
on.
would have known. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's knowledgeable of more than we know. I think for sure.
So how did you feel
But,
about
I
Azriel?
mean-
Like, how did you feel about Azriel before the films, and then
Mhm.
now? How do you feel about him?
Well, my first introduction to Azriel wasn't even like I didn't really know what I was being put into. Like Dakota was like, wear this blue necklace, put on these wings, wear this black shirt, lean up on a doorpost, and then she got her phone and was like,
That
Okay,
photo.
Dakota,
I know
if
exactly.
anyone
I know
doesn't know,
Mm.
Dakota is Cory's fiance, correct? Yes?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Just making sure.
I
we didn't
know what
elope
photo
without my
you're
knowledge.
talking about, and I was like, when I first saw your page, I was like, I can see it. I can see it. That photo, I know exactly what you're talking
Thanks,
about.
Dakota.
Yeah, thanks Dakota, because
Yeah, it was-
that photo really, I was like, especially during like casting, I had no idea who you were, obviously. And so I was just like, I went to your page, like we all do, and I was like, I can see it now. I can see it like that, like the look. Like you had this brooding energy about you in that photo that really came through. And that wasn't like obviously all that went into it, but I just distinctly remember looking at it and I was like, yep.
This could work. We could do
Nice.
something.
That guy's
with
getting a
this.
Yeah.
callback. That's a callback opportunity right there.
The black compression shirt from Amazon did it for you.
Yay!
It got me the role. Yes, we'll take it. No, it's just fun. It's fun to see like how that all ended up like how it started. And I hadn't even read the books, didn't really know what he was like. At first, I was like, "Who's this? Who's Cassian? Would Cassian wear plaid? Like, is he wearing like a lumberjack kind of shirt? Like what are we doing? Like, he's red. What his wings? What's wings? So I had like no idea like what I was getting myself into.
Right.
Read the books and I was like, okay, this is just Beauty and the Beast, but Feyre's illiterate, or like Belle's illiterate. That's great, fine, whatever. And then we get to the books where like the bad boys are introduced, and you're like, oh, this is cool. Like we have a whole like inner circle that we're being introduced to and talking about, and we're figuring out what's going on here. I had to read all 5 of these books, I think, in like the matter of a couple months because I had an event coming up, so I wanted to make sure that I was well studied and well read for that. And then we get to the point where like what I kind of talked about in my audition. Like, what's the part that like kind of connects me to this character? And it's the hillside scene or the mountainside scene where he's teaching Feyre how to fly. And I was like, oh, this is cool. We finally hear him talk. He's saying words. He knows how to speak. This guy's not just like empty-headed and like just like mute, which is like would have been fine. But he's cool. He has like reasonings for why he's doing things. And I remember like one of the biggest memes I kept seeing at the time on TikTok or on Instagram was that that like Az pushed Feyre. Like, you remember when Az pushed Feyre down the mountain because she couldn't fly? And I was like, he doesn't do that! He doesn't! She specifically asked him to, and he particularly said absolutely not. Like, it's just...
That's when you know you
I
like a
was
character.
very-
When you get defensive over them.
I was like, you don't talk about my boy that way! But also, we have no idea what he does. Like, at this point, after reading, like, Onyx Storm, I'm like, dude would get smacked by Xaden in a heartbeat.
Mm.
Shadow Daddy who? Like, no, like it's like we don't have any like comparison of power.
Yeah.
But like I just kind of like doing a little bit of like a mini deep dive before this so I can like make sure I know my stuff.
Yeah.
I got nervous.
Yeah.
I was like, man, he's got so much there's gotta be so much darkness in this guy's like soul. Like there's gotta be. And he is just the nicest,
He's so nice.
like most put together, perfect soldier, kind of just
Loyal.
like good boy, so loyal, like to the point where he would like everything he wants, everything he desires, everything that feels right in this world, he'll say no to because he's loyal to his king.
Mhm.
Yeah.
His boy, like so he will throw everything else. He will say like exactly what needs to be said to ruin that so it never happens again.
Yeah.
Because what he like when he's with
Can't wait
Elaine
to
in
get
that
to that.
bonus chapter, he specifically says like this was a mistake and walks away. Like he could have said like no, not right now, and walked away, and then still left her hoping. But like he was very, very clear, like no, this was a mistake. Give me that. Bye. And like did what he had to do to cut that off because he knew it was right for what his
He was
like
following
orders
orders,
were.
what Rhys wanted.
Yeah, he's very
Yeah.
loyal. Very loyal.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Did your feelings about Azriel change after 70 and 65 at all?
I think that the depth of my understanding and just like feeling for the character, obviously, just because we like I got to live it out, I got to visualize it, and I got to see like just how terrible that like, especially for like 65, like you like it's the last 100 pages of an SJM novel, so like this is like gonna be crazy, it's gonna be scarring, and it's far more deep than we thought it was, and it really is like more intense than the way I listened to it or the way that I read it,
Same.
like when I was going through the books initially. So when it comes to Azriel, man, like I don't ever know, and this is just a personal critique. I don't ever know if I'll ever do him justice to the point like where I think that I did like an amazing job or better than anybody else could. But I do feel like with that, I feel like I did the best I could, and it really allowed me to dive into this character that I really love, and I love the connection he has with the other characters. I love his connection with Cassian because that only fuels my relationship with Zach. Like him and I like on a regular basis message each other about Ben and scream stupid stuff into our phones, and then we'll message Max and we'll talk about Ben.
No
and this
way.
is like Ben. Like if you've read Echo War, you know Ben.
Yeah. Do you know Ben?
Of
Green
course you do.
siphons?
Of course you do. Um,
More bat
the
than
biggest
human.
bat wings you've ever seen. More bat than boy. Absolutely blind.
Obsessed with
Bald,
this. I'm
I'm pretty
obsessed with the
sure.
brotherhood.
Has a
Ugh.
shotgun. Like
And we talked
But
about the brotherhood
Max will message me
with you
crazy
guys.
stuff.
Like
Oh.
the brother, like Taylor went on our very first episode about just the brotherhood that you guys.
Yeah.
Ugh, okay, I can't. It's gonna make me cry because
Oh.
it's just so
Cute.
Bat Boys. It's so amazing
It's
that
so
like
cute.
I don't know that you guys just like took that out of the films and they're that in real life. It's like
It's so weird, man. Like it was totally like unprompted, and it was just like getting three dudes together. But like you got an amazing guy like Max with just such like a massive heart, the sweetest smile, and just like such a funny humor. And then you get like the wild chaos that is Zach, that is just like golden retriever energy all the time. That like you put all three of us in one sauna and you see exactly what happens, like it is just a crazy coinky dink that it ended up turning out
the
like
chemistry.
very much how I feel that the Bat Boys interact.
Yeah.
And I strive for that kind of feeling. I want that to leak out. I want that to like seep into every like event that I do, every single photo shoot that I do, every single time I do anything. It's never going to be the same. It never will be because they are them. And I will build something very special with every other like Cassian or Rhys or Azriel that I end up meeting. But like I only strive to be the best I can be, like I am with those boys.
Oh my
That is
god,
literally so
Yeah.
sweet. That is like melts my heart. And it's just you guys all just fit your characters so well. And what I love is that you guys are such healthy versions of masculinity. Like all three of you, and then actually throw Drew into that mix as well, because
absolutely.
and then even Stephen Walker, like I think our men,
Steven was a great addition.
I feel like our men,
all the men
are
on our
just
cast.
such
Yeah.
healthy
dude,
versions
Lulu?
of like what like a healthy version of masculinity should be. Like I just could not be happier. I genuinely couldn't be happier. And then knowing that you guys message each other just like melts my heart even more. I love that. That's so cute. So cute.
Yeah, it's just nice to just check in once in a while, especially just because like you don't know how things are going, especially just in like the world today.
Mhm.
You just
Yeah.
want to make sure just little check-ins.
Yeah.
And it's still group messages overwhelm me, man. I cannot.
Yeah.
I
Fair.
wish I was better at being a human being.
Do you want to hear something really funny? I talked to Drew about for premiere because we're gonna hopefully maybe try to coordinate it around a Renaissance festival. And I was like,
Ooh.
Drew, can you please show up to the Ren Fair as Ben? And I said, I will help you get the pieces.
Was that supposed to be a surprise?
I don't know.
Not
Not a
anymore.
surprise anymore. That was supposed to surprise
But
them.
I need help
Dude,
because I don't know what Ben fully looks like. So I'm
Oh.
over here.
Can you keep
You're
a
gonna
secret?
be
Can you keep a
so
secret from Zach?
surprised.
Can you keep a secret from Zach?
I
help us make
think I
Ben.
have a photo of what Zach has made. Like AI made him a picture of what Ben would look like.
I'm deceived.
There is no way Drew would be able to depict this at all because it is all
We'll have
too
Colin,
horrendous
you know?
and terrifying. It is all too horrendous and terrifying. There is
Crying,
absolutely
at least
no
a photo. You at least have green siphons.
Oh, I had him send it to me. It wouldn't. It's not anything close to what you think it would be.
Oh my god, just
It is absolutely disturbing.
okay. You'll have to send it to us.
Here
You'll have to send it.
I'm sending it to you. I'll send it to you right now.
I'm
I'll
good.
send it to you. It is crazy. And it's some of the funniest things I've ever seen here. Whimsy Tay and Whimsy Val. It is. This needs to be live. Your reactions, because
Okay. I don't even know.
oh my goodness.
I don't even know.
I can't
That
wait.
makes me
we go.
literally.
Enjoy. This is what Zach got from AI. From no, I don't think Drew's gonna be able to do that.
Where's
Even
his
with
siphon?
Colin's help.
He doesn't even have siphons.
He doesn't even have them, dude.
Where are his eyes?
He's blind. He doesn't need
He
them.
has green wings. Why is Ben
Just the fact that that's the case, it just cracks me up, dude. I'm surprised I didn't show you guys. That's Ben. Well,
Has Max seen this? Has Max seen this?
oh, I think absolutely. There's no way. And if he hasn't, then oh my goodness, this will be such a funny little thing. Here, you can see it here on screen
Right
right
now,
So
we're gonna
should
show
I
you guys
post
what
it?
Ben-
I'm gonna.
the Bat Boy who's more bat than boy.
More bad than
I
absolutely.
don't know
Looking
what
at
that
that,
looks like. Shrek and a bat had a baby.
Don't talk about his mom like that.
Speaking of mothers, so to tie this up in a little bow, is Azriel your favorite bad boy?
Yeah, I think
Oh my
I have a
God.
really big heart for him. I really do. I do. It'd be a big tie between. I love them all so much. I think they have such great qualities about them. I think yes, I would say Azriel is, because he was my first introduction to Akatar. I think Cassian's great because he's super funny, but then he knows if he's crossed the line, he has the immaturity to kind of calm down and apologize for it. Rhys absolutely has the most Riz out of anybody I've ever known, but also is just down to earth, super sweet, and it knows when to turn that side of himself off. When it comes to Azriel, there's so much hurt, there's so much heartache, and there's so much good, even still, that thrives.
Yeah.
So I really do love that. I really hope me saying this is not terrible foreshadowing for him being the bad guy in the next book, but
That's not
We'll
gonna
get
happen. Can't have that.
there's just too much good. So a lot of people will be like, Gwen or Elaine.
Well, we're gonna get there, too. We're gonna get there.
Then we'll get there and I'll let you know my answer.
Yeah, because
But
I have a
he's-
whole lot to say
he's
too.
good.
I have opinions.
Because I know that you and I don't agree on it.
Well, when we get there, we'll get there. But
I think actually all three of us
There.
might have different opinions. Actually.
I feel like it might be fun to talk
Oh,
about,
100%.
Oh,
So
100%.
Azriel has a very, very sad, depressing start to his life.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Azriel was born to an Illyrian lord and an unnamed mother who is speculated to be a servant.
Mhm.
And from the age of 8, he was subjected to severe abuse by his father and half brothers. So he lived with his stepmom and obviously these half brothers,
wasn't
because
very nice.
his father got around with some lesser person. And he was confined to a dark windowless cell for 11 years and only allowed out for 1 hour a day to see, and only allowed to see his mother for 1 hour each week.
That's just
And
that's
during-
so
His
sad.
actual mother's still around.
Yeah.
She's still there, probably in her own cell.
Probably.
And during this time, his brothers inflicted horrific injuries on him, including burning his hands with oil and fire. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
They made his hands look like McNuggies.
Yeah, how cruel.
This honestly, like, I feel like this is so overlooked. Like, as a fan, like, I didn't even like I knew a little bit, but then going and doing deep like research for this deep dive, I'm like, holy fuck! Like, I totally glazed over this in the book. This poor guy.
What's crazy is that he's probably got like scars probably all the way down to here. But then on top of that, the scars aren't just on the back. The scars are probably on the front too, which I can't imagine what would feel like as another person to hold. But also just like as every day to have to like grab things with that. Is it still painful?
A reminder.
Like, sometimes scars are still like tender.
These scars
you know?
remind me.
Like, does he wear gloves ever? Does he feel like he has to hide them? Is he proud of them? Is it like, where's the psychological aspect that comes from any of that? Does it peel? Like let me get into like the more gross and gruesome things. Like it's definitely not super fun, any of this. And like I think we've tried our best and done a great job when it comes to portraying that in the movies that we've made.
MJ and Tommy, phenomenal.
Absolutely superheroes. But like, other than like dipping your hands in wax and just holding them there, I can't imagine there being like any other way to make or just wearing like a gross looking glove.
Yeah, complete prosthetic.
Is it bad that
insane.
like my brain immediately, when you're giving this like background, I was like, this is why it needs to be turned into a TV series, because you can do a whole entire like flashback episode on like Azriel's like literally his upbringing to like really drive home like when you meet him, like why he might be more quiet, why he might be more reserved, because he did not get to socialize with people for 11 years and was locked in a cell, and the only people he was given an hour a day and an hour with his mom. So if you just think about it, this poor kid, like, was just
going like it's so
tortured,
horrible.
Literally tortured.
Oh yeah,
what the hell is with half brothers and being assholes? Like poor Lucian too. Even though he doesn't know there has half brothers
yet.
Everyone else does. Apparently, Farrah knows.
Everyone else
crazy.
knows.
Someone should tell him.
But yeah, I just think
certainly knows.
I don't know. I just feel like with Azriel, and do you think because he was able, because he is like a shadow daddy and he's like a shadow singer, do you think that's why they went after his hands? Do you think his hands like kind of control his shadows, or do you think his mind controls his shadows more? Like, what were the point of his hands being tortured? I just want to know the why. Like, why do you think his brothers?
His hands? I think it was just like a cruel thing. Yeah. I mean, let's just be happy they picked his hands rather than his crotch. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think his shadows are like, I don't think he controls them. I think he's friends with them.
But also like
I think they're very much like
a parasite
thing. And
I think it's like Venom.
Yeah, like
I don't know if it's necessarily like a parasite, but I think it's definitely like it's a thing.
They're sentient, yeah.
Beyond it's something he found in that dark place.
Yes.
Something he either he created with all the darkness that was in his heart or in his soul, with everything he experienced in those 11 years. Like something was manifested and created in that.
Because that's what it says too. Like during his isolation, that's when his shadow-based abilities began to manifest, and these powers likely developed as a coping mechanism to endure his torment. So it might have been like his only. I mean, it does say
friend
in the bonus chapter that they like basically are telling him to sleep. They're telling him to sleep. Mm-hmm. So like they communicate with him, and so he's in this isolation. I think they're definitely sentient.
Yeah.
They have a life of their own.
There's something, I think he just like, he has created such a great relationship with him over the 500 years or so that he's been around, that like, he has the ability to have not control, but influence on them so that they don't just go running rampant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
and I think that's what keeps him so in
or have you read Shadow and Bone?
See, that's the thing. I've not read anything when it comes to Crescent City.
No. Shadow and Bone is a TV series. That was a book turned TV series, like Six of Crows. Because for anyone that's listening, the Darkling and his shadows, but like better relationship, obviously, than what Azriel has. Well, Azriel has a better relationship than the Darkling. It's on Netflix. Really good series. 10 out of 10 recommend. But
Taylor, I do have an answer to your question about the oil, though. So Azriel's Wikipedia says when that his two cruel half brothers decided it would be fun to see what happened when you mixed in Illyrian's quick healing gifts with oil and fire. So that's why they did it. They heard his father's warriors heard Azriel's screaming and rescued him, but not quick enough to save his hands. So isn't it? I mean, I cannot.
Poor guy.
I cannot.
Just thinking of him as a kid, like going through this is like really traumatizing for me. Like thinking about that.
Right, like as a kid, like can you imagine like you're the mom?
No.
And like your son comes after, like he's 8 years old. One day he comes in, his hands are fine. The next day he comes in and he can't. Like
Your
1 week he comes back and he's
fingers.
just bandaged up. Yeah, and then like you have no idea what happened. Will he talk about it? Who knows?
It's literally, oh my God, he's Cinderella. Because he has two
Cinderella was
stepbrothers
treated so much worse.
I know, but this is like it's kind of like a Cinderella.
So
it's like a Cinderella retelling though, and instead of the mice, it's shadows. And then the prince that saves him is Rhys. Because at the age of 11,
let me look at those feet. Yep, those are big enough for me. That means you got something else that's pretty big. Let's go.
The wingspan.
Yeah, your wings are really big.
Wingspan.
That's what it is.
He does.
So wait, so also the hand thing happens when he's 8 years old. So
yeah,
8 years old, and your hands are ruined for the rest of your life. Like, how fucked is that? Yeah. And then at the age of 11, they dump him in the Illyrian training camp, where he was well received by camp lords due to shadow singing gifts, and that's where he meets Rhys and Cassian, which is so cute.
My brothers. My brothers.
Yeah.
My brothers.
They're so cute.
We just hang out. We just training. We get to the top of a mountain together. We just pretty cool.
Do you think that
cool guys.
By Rhys and's mom kind of like adopting them, do you think that's why there's so much loyalty to Rhys? Or do you think it was just inherently he was like they just kind of fell into line? Like, I wonder how that came out.
I think they probably like saw each other's skill, like one for one, and like had a little bit of like a competitiveness against it. Like Azriel's probably never seen anybody like Rhys before, like with that kind of like Rhys is also strange. You know, he's a half breed. He's not like all the other Illyrians in the camp. But also on top of that, I'm pretty sure in the book, like Azriel can't fly. He was they didn't let him fly. They didn't let him train. So then Cassian and Azriel, Cassian and Rhys, they like teach him how.
Yeah, that's right. Because that's why Azriel's great at training Feyre, because he understands what it's. Oh.
He had to learn at an old enough age to like remember, and kind of like he knew the steps that he had to take to learn how to like okay, well, like my wings are fully developed and I need to be able to try to fly with them now. Like I don't have the muscles built up for that yet. Like I don't have any way of being able to do that yet. And so that's why he was the perfect teacher for Feyre. But I think it was because of that, like because no pun intended, they took him under his wing or under their wing. Like they were able to take him and help him out with whatever he was going through. You know,
maybe that's why he's so loyal, like fiercely loyal.
I mean, they say they were his first friends he ever had outside of his shadows.
I mean, and they did so much together. I mean, like, what between like them meeting, them training, teaching him how to like fly, and then them getting to the top of the mountain during the blood rite. Like, imagine like what kind of training they've gone through during all of that. What adversity they had come through. Like, were as his big wings a hindrance to him?
Do you feel like the blood rite in Silver Flames kind of lessens the like? Oh my God, it was so crazy that Rhys and Cassian and Azriel were able to do it, like against all, like it's a really hard thing to do and they did it. Does it make it feel like it wasn't as hard?
Well, I don't think they don't talk about many other people doing that. Like no one since then really has, I don't believe, right? So that goes to show that at least. It could just go to show just how well trained those three girls were, even with their pajamas on.
I don't know. It's definitely a complaint of mine. It was like, okay.
All the other Illyrian men couldn't make it up to that top.
Right.
I mean, not that like because they're men they should have been able to, but like they all struggled,
and they've been training their whole lives.
But also they get stuck.
Yeah.
You know, like they knew the goal was to get to the top. The men did too, but I think they also got stuck in the fact that like, oh, we can kill each other, so let me just make it easy for myself, and we'll just have our little battle down at the bottom of the mountain, and then time runs out because people made it at the top already.
That's actually
So
true.
it's just like,
Yeah, good point.
so like, and you see that happening, and especially when they're chasing them up the mountain, and they're only going up there because they see them going up there, and they think they're an easy kill. Nesta fends them off, and the other two make it all the way to the top, and there you go. And the story's over. But I think look at the state that like Nesta was in. Like, she didn't even make it. She almost died.
Yeah.
So with all the power that she had, even given the circumstances, like, she obviously didn't know that she was going to be doing that, and things like that were going to happen. But
well, didn't they not have their powers? Their powers, they were powerless going into
they get their powers removed.
So that's, I think, what for me, like, if it was Nesta full power, I'd be like, okay, cool, that girl's going to the mountain no matter what. But like them three not having any powers and doing it, I was like, how?
But also, I think that speaks so much to I guess the Bat Boys and their abilities, because if they don't have their siphons and they don't have their powers, like, those three are just lethal.
The wings were tied, weren't they, too? Like, all the men had their wings tied,
maybe,
so they couldn't use they couldn't use their wings to fly.
That probably makes sense.
So like they all were like kind of hindered, and they were like bound by their own strength to be able to get to the top of the mountain.
Right.
On top of that, they also were trained differently than the other like Illyrian warriors were. They didn't want Illyrian warrior training; they wanted the Valkyrie training that they had in the book. And if you ever like, I don't know if you've ever like tried pitting like a knight versus a samurai, but like, who do you feel like would?
I feel like I would say a
top?
samurai, because I feel like they're a touch more agile.
I
don't know,
I wouldn't
right?
know. Like, it's just it being two different ways of fighting, but like in similar ways. Like, it depends on, like, I guess, the situations and like the things that are brought up, but like they're doing the same thing essentially, but this is how they do it is going to be unknown to the other. But the girls at least would be like, they would know how the Illyrians would fight because they've been with Az
and Cass. Yeah.
And they've been through an Illyrian war before at this point, so they've seen a ton of Illyrian fighting.
Yeah.
But no one's seen Valkyrie fighting.
No.
True.
No one has. And this isn't even true Valkyrie fighting. This is Cassian's take on it.
Can you imagine, like, the real Valkyrie fighting?
Yeah.
Again, whenever I think of the Valkyries, I just think of like the Amazonians from Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, they're such badasses. Like that scene in the beginning when they're like the box and they're just like on the horse and they're like throwing it to each other, and I'm like, that's just what I imagine. That would have to be it, but with wings.
Oh, they'd be so cool.
They'd be so freaking
so cool.
So freaking cool. But
I think it's interesting that once Rhysand's father like sees how powerful Rhys is, and then he sees these two really powerful Illyrian like warriors next to him, that he separates all of them. Like, that's really interesting. Like, there's so many things like in ACOTAR where we see like these High Lord fathers getting so afraid and like insecure about their children. And it's like,
almost
really...
like if you treated your child really nicely growing up and like you raised them with love and kindness, you wouldn't have to worry about them wanting to like betray you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good point.
It's a weird concept.
There's no way. There's no way that would work. No, I think it's neat because, I mean, like, no one has ever had to use 3 siphons before, or sorry, 7 siphons to like control their power. Right? So like, Az and Cass have had the most siphons that anybody has ever had.
They usually only have 1 or 2, and they have 7, right?
1 or 2, and then having 7 like speaks to the sheer power that these guys are bringing to the table. And on top of that, Rhys can't even use siphons. He's so powerful. Like, they just shatter upon impact,
which is crazy.
So the fact that he has to like, not only, he's like almost like Superman. He's got to dial it back. He's got to be on the constant, like, I have to hit them with this specific percentage, otherwise everything dies. Like, he's so powerful. And even with that strength, Rhys is scared of Amryn. So like, like he's like, I say the wrong thing here, Amryn takes over. Like, it's donezo. So it's wild. Like, his dad was scared of Rhys, and obviously like the 3 boys were intimidating to the dad in general. And then on top of that, you've got Amryn that's second in command somehow because of something. Like, who's to know? And then now I think with Amryn's powers have been like seriously dialed back.
Yeah,
now.
she's just
so
normal.
She's not really a threat of any kind.
But her brain probably is still a threat. Like, her knowledge to things is probably...
Yeah, she can read. She can read. She can do puzzles.
I can't remember. Were they
Good job,
separated
Grandma.
until Rhys became High Lord, and then he was like, "Give me my brothers back"? I can't.
Yeah.
Do you think that's
At least
also
from
why
what the
he like
wiki
befriended
says,
Tamlin during that time?
I think
Because like he was like, "I
he's
need a
probably.
friend." Just kidding.
I think his dad and his. I think the dads were buddies.
Mm.
I think Tamlin's dad and Rhys's dad were friends, so they were like family friends.
Mm.
Like the court, like
Well, I know
the
he definitely
courts
was
were
with
all pretty like
the
tight.
Highburn people.
Like Rhys's dad was buddies with
With
Hybern.
the Amarantha and stuff, because they talked about how like Tamlin would like during their childhood, like the Amarantha obsession with Tamlin started out really early.
Oh, yeah, Tamlin and
Mhm.
Amarantha's
And
family,
I mean,
but like not recent.
Yeah, not recent. Yeah, but
yeah. So like I do believe like the High Lords of all the seven like courts definitely had like a relationship. Some may have gotten along better than others, but it seems like Rhys and like Helion are
Mhm.
really good like
Mhm.
pals. Like they're close with him because he's cool, and then they like go over. They have some banter with like the Winter Court with is it Val?
Callias and Vivian.
Is it Valerie?
Vivian. More and Vivian are very good friends too.
Yeah, like so they're
Yeah.
pals and they get along. There's some banter there. And then you can go to I believe you go to the spring court and like they were best friends for a long time. Like Rhys and Tamlin.
Well, yeah, Rhys and
And
Tamlin
so, like, I
bonded
don't know.
apparently. Like they bonded over their like daddy issues pretty much.
And then Rhysand taught
I
Tamlin
don't
how to
doubt that
fight
at
like an
all.
Illyrian.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And I mean, that wouldn't surprise me at all. On top of that, I wouldn't. I think there's a lot of respect there that like, I don't think I don't think Tamlin killed his
I don't
sister and his
either.
mom. Or like the wings. I think them not being there
Is a sign.
is a sign, and I think Azriel is potentially mates with Rhys's sister, and he's constantly like looking for her.
hold the phone.
Wait, can we just? We're just gonna have to segue
I-
here. That's a huge, huge. But I don't
Sir,
think I've ever.
what?
I have
Fun.
not heard that theory.
I have heard
No?
Tamlin and
No?
Rhys's
Yeah,
sister are mates.
that's
That's
where
where
I-
never heard Azriel.
No, sorry to derail it.
No, but like,
no,
why?
that's something. I think that's the most fun one. It's off the wall,
adorable.
and there's like hardly anything to support
I
it.
kind of like
But
it.
like, imagine like because his shadows are always out there seeking. He's always doing something. He's always like never around. So like, what is he doing when he's not here? And who's he torturing? Probably nobody, because there's nobody to do that with right now. So like, Azriel's like always constantly like never home. Like he's never in the night court. He's always out
Spy
doing
mastering.
night court business, spy mastering, right? So like, but what is he spying on? There's like, it's not war times. He's not doing anything. He doesn't have any direct orders from Rhys that we know about. But we do know that he's like very familiar with the entirety of Prithian and beyond. His shadows are always kind of like leaking out and looking and searching for things, and like, I don't know how far and wide they go, but every time there's a damsel in distress, there is Azriel. You have Morgan wounded and dying, and with a note strapped to her chest.
That's what I would do. I would look just like that.
Ow, a hole in my chest. And then Azriel like swims up and's like, "What's up, bro?" Picks her up, takes her back. We have Gwyn in the middle of a disaster, and whether the Night Court sent him or not, like, why was he close enough to be the first and only responder? Like, when an entire coven of like priestesses explodes or whatever happens, like, Night Court's just like, send one guy.
And it's Azriel.
And
in that moment, like one of
like-
the worst moments that it just breaks my heart for Gwyn, like what's
Yeah.
happening to her in that horrible moment. Azriel's
Right?
like steps in and like saves the day.
Right. And like the only time that we see like Azriel's not the only one to save anybody is when they know that there's other skilled like people around that need taken care of, especially like when there's already been in like an infraction
Mhm.
before. And so like you have when Lucian and Feyre are running away in the Winter Court. And then
Yeah.
Azriel shows up with his boy Cass, and he's like, "All right, we've done this before. You Autumn Court jerks aren't touching another one of our girls. We ain't letting this happen." So
Yeah.
like he's always around when there is some sort
Trouble.
of trouble, especially when it's involved with a woman.
Yeah.
So he's
You're
even the one to
so
go
right.
save.
What the hell
He's
is
always
up
the
with
one that
that?
goes he saves Elaine,
He does.
Yep.
but not alone. Like luckily, like
But he still goes.
he still goes, and luckily Tim Tam is there to help her.
That's wild.
And he uses like his magical power that for some reason everyone forgets that he has.
Okay, wait, Cory, you are
What?
also a
Wait, which
Tamlin guy, aren't you?
I'm a Tamlin stan, bro. Tamlin all
This
day.
is not a Tamlin episode.
No, but I'm
today.
just saying, like, I just need
No, we're
before
not
I
talking
say
about him.
anything else, and before I say like anything, I needed to clarify. Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
yes.
cool, cool, cool.
He's a Tamlin sympathizer.
I am.
That's what we call ourselves now, because it's Stephen Walker. That's what we said in that episode.
I think I have a bracelet that says that. Like,
Tamlin sympathizer.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not a cult.
Tamlin
It's
sympathizer.
just it's a
We're
community.
just gonna get t-shirts.
No, it's just a small group of people who are right. It's fine.
But I want to get back to the theory though, like Rhysand's sister.
Mhm.
So that's not something that's out there really that I've heard of. Did you
I think
just
it's just a
think
fun
about
thing.
it? You're just like, they'd be cute together, or
No, I think I came across
because
it on
you need to read
TikTok.
Crescent City because Crescent City, that's where I think Rhysand's sister is. So
Oh, okay, fun. I've heard that there was like another theory like where the wings were like lopped off and tossed into the like pool of starlight that's in the spring court that Feyre,
no, I
like,
think that
hangs out in.
Rhysand's sister was tossed into this pool of starlight.
Ooh, with like the whole
It's
body.
like a portal.
I think she's in Crescent City.
Oh, and you think that's like a portal to get her? Oh, that's crazy.
Yes,
That's
sir.
fun. That's fun. I like that.
Yes.
That's when I said like there's like there was a time where I went on Instagram like give me your hot takes, and that was the one that I caught a couple times. I was like, ooh, the pool of starlight, like the stars came because like they threw the dead bodies in or whatever. Like it's like, oh, that's crazy. That's wild. That's dark. That's dark.
No, I think it's
But,
a portal.
I think I got there's portals like in a lot of places. I think that's a lot
Yes.
of fun. But like, why didn't it work? Like Tamlin and Feyre have gone into that place before. Like, how do you go?
I think you have to. Tamlin knows the. I think. What my theory is that Tamlin threw her in the pool of starlight to save her life,
I like that.
and
like that.
she
But I
got
mean-
transported to Crescent City. And you have to read Crescent City to see her, but
Sure.
it is almost.
she's
I'm
there.
almost 100% sure, based on so many
Mhm.
things in Crescent City, that is Rhysand's sister. Like there's just no way. There's no way when you think about lineages and when you go into a deep dive, which we've done on our Crescent City episodes, there's no way other way around it because of the way that those you just gotta read
But yeah,
them. And
I
there's a
gotta
whole
read it.
Azriel.
Why? What is your
thing.
like? What is your? I want your notes behind it. Like, give me your reasonings on Azriel and Rhys's sister. Like, I'm still kind of hung up on this one, and I kind of want to know: am I changing my ship? Because that would be so freaking cute.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think the biggest thing is that like we don't see the wings, so then that like kind of leaves the it up to interpretation. Like what happened to it? Like we have to theorize, we have to figure it out. Like maybe this has got to be something that we have to think a little bit harder about. And if you like kind of go into that like that thought process of like, oh, Az is always searching for things. Like why is he doing that? If they're mates, and he didn't get that severance of the bond because she's dead, then he'd be pretty confused as to where the heck she is. Like if like you wouldn't know. Granted, like mates are hard to come by in general,
Yeah.
so like who knows? Because like the girls were like Cauldron born, so like obviously they kind of go outside of the natural progression of things, but mates aren't unheard of. And because Az doesn't speak a whole lot, like who's to say he's even gonna tell anybody? Maybe Rhys knows. Rhys knows all.
Do you think Rhys would
we know
let
that
him?
Rhys knows all. I think that's why Rhys would be so against him getting with Elaine.
Ooh.
Well, he's like,
I don't know. Oh,
you're
I don't
with
know.
my
That
sister.
bonus
You're mated
chapter-
with my sister. You're gonna do this right now? He's like, but you guys get a girl. Why don't I get a girl? And he's
Okay,
like,
we're gonna go talk about the bonus chapter. I just read that today. I just read it today, and oh my god, it's so good. Not only does it prove that the shadows are sentient, but also just shows like where Azriel's head is at, and I and it's so informative. And it also is doubled down on people that weren't Elaine and Az shippers. It like doubled down on that theory, not basically not being true.
I don't know.
I do think it's curious though why Rhys says, but what about more? Like, why does he even bring me up, in that meeting? Like, why? And it doesn't say that Azriel says, "Oh, he just stays quiet.
Mm-hmm.
He just stays quiet. He doesn't say, "Oh, I don't care about more anymore. Or I'm over more." Like, he just stays quiet.
I
But
think
he brings me up in an argument with I'm saying me. He brings more up in an argument with Azriel. It's just interesting.
It is interesting, and I think the biggest thing is that like I don't believe Moore and him ever had any sort of romantic feelings whatsoever. I think
See, this
Moore's
is
a
where we
flirt.
differ.
Moore's a flirt, and she like has stated outwardly that like nah, like when it comes to the bad boys and her affections, she's like, yeah, me and Cassian once, but and then Azriel, I couldn't do that. And we're like, cool, fine, whatever. But like when it comes to like Azriel's never once stated out loud that like, yes, I love you more. You're
He
the
hasn't
only
said it
one
out
for me.
loud, but it's been very there's so many instances in the book, and even Morgan says "Oh, she said when Azriel goes to save her, she basically tells Farrah she does something or whatever to get him to stop him before he says that he loves her. And I know that's her obviously thinking he's going to, but women are pretty smart and they can tell.
I don't know. I'm kind of on
And
Cory's
she said that
side.
to Farrah. There's
But, like, guys
so
don't
many
play
things.
games.
I had a whole thing. I wish I could find the freaking Reddit post I was reading today. It had all these different things that shows Azriel's love, and everyone's talking about it. It's not just
I
Morgan talking
think,
about it, Farrah talking about it. Other
Yeah.
but I
people are
think what
talking
it could
about
be
it.
is Azriel knows,
And the way that
like, I think he's protective over Moore and Gwen, particularly. I really do, because of the trauma that he.
Gwen's not even really that much of a thing until
But I
later,
know, but he's
though.
still protective over her. Like, he does care. But
Yeah.
and
He
I
cares
think
about her, yeah.
because one, Azriel's been tortured and been through some really dark things in life, like his hands with his brothers, and I think he knew Moore grew up by her dad, and we all know what that was like, and I think when she got the nail in her uterus, I also think Azriel felt like you understand the dark side, like the darkness of people, and you understand the darkness. And I think Azriel has a soft spot for people that also understand the darkness. Um, and I really think he probably thinks Moore is pretty, but he also probably cares a lot about her. And I think like the inner circle, like I think he also just genuinely like, because he found her in that really vulnerable state, and he kind of wants to be like a knight in shining armor kind of attitude, but I don't think
I don't
he's.
know. So this is what she says. So she tells Farrah, Azriel found me with that note nailed to my womb. I tried to explain. This is when she's saying why she didn't tell him that she was bi or whatever, I guess. He said, but he started to confess what he felt, and I panicked. And to get him to stop, to keep him from saying he loved me, I just turned and left, and I couldn't face explaining it after that to the others. That's what Moore says.
But like, what if she
he was starting to confess
what
the
if
feelings.
she thought, like, what if he was about to be like, I understand you, and like maybe he, like, she just assumed. We don't know.
Everyone is thinking. So everyone, there's a lot of people, and I didn't even think, a lot of people think that Sarah J. Maas changed her mind about Azriel and Moore, and that they actually were mates, and then I guess, and so now it's now Azriel has to figure out where Azriel's place is, and then Morgan's her whole arc is just who knows, she's off doing whatever. So a lot of people theorize that.
I don't know.
That she changed it, just like she changed
Nesta and Lucian.
Nesta. Yeah. So she's done it before.
I don't know. I just
things
really
up
think
and then she changes them.
We don't know unless it comes from Azriel's mouth. Like, unless we hear him say it. Like, I think he's just too sneaky. I think he's just protective of Moore. He knows that she was bisexual. He's been.
Don't you touch her? No, he loves that woman.
But you can love her. Like, I would say that about my brothers.
I mean, he said something pretty cool about Farrah, and the way he said that,
But
but
he goes after Eris in that meeting because he deigned to insult Morgan. He literally is choking Eris out over Morgan.
Yeah, but he knows. He knows what happened.
It's okay. He says, "Don't you talk about that to my high lady." But when it's Moore, he's hands on.
But it's also I just think because he knows. I don't know. I just feel like it's Azriel is a stand-up human being.
More breezed to my side, she wore a gown of pure white, little more than a slip of silk that showed off her generous curves. Indeed, a glance over her shoulder revealed Azriel staring blatantly at the back view of it. Cassian and the stranger already too deep in conversation to notice what had drawn the spy master's attention. For a moment, the ravenous hunger on Azriel's face made my stomach tighten. Moore rubbed her stomach in lazy circles as we paused beside the river. I want to go dancing. I won't be able to fall asleep when I'm this full. Rita's is up the street. Dancing, my body, whatever, Farrah's saying stuff. But Azriel said, his eyes wholly on Moore. I'm in. Of course you are. Cassian grumbled, frowning at him. Don't you have to be off at dawn? Moore's frown now mirrored Cassian's, as if she realized where and what he'd been doing tomorrow. She said to Azriel, we don't have to. And then he cut her off. I want to, Azriel said, holding her gaze long enough that Moore dropped it, twisted towards Cassian, and then she said, Cassian, will you come with us? Because she didn't want it to be weird with her and Az.
I don't know. I love you, but I don't think you're going to sell me on this
And were
one.
you ever, and you never were with anyone after that? Not the cold, beautiful shadow singer who tried so hard to not watch her with a longing on his face.
I don't know.
I just feel like Sarah changed her mind.
I feel you. I can I can see that. I think we know Az is a player, right? Like we know he's been with women. We don't know what he's done. And I think she's even said that like he's kind of a freak.
Yeah.
So she's a beautiful woman wearing a revealing dress, standing right in front of him. He doesn't talk to anybody, so the only thing he can do is look. And he sees the backside of a beautiful fey woman in a see-through white dress, and he's not supposed to get like a little excited. Like,
yeah,
I think
it's longing though. Like I just feel like women can tell. Like
people say the same thing about Eris looking at Azriel, being like the way that he like looked at each other. They must be boning, and you're like, okay, whatever. But if we're gonna be like, I mean, I think speculatively, I think there is definitely a connection between Azriel and Moore. I think I like to try to deny that a little bit, just because I just know it's not going to happen. I know that she has her agenda already.
I want it to happen so badly now.
Dude,
like I know everyone would be so mad, but I feel like Sarah gave us so much on that page, and like again, like I the movies changed me. Doing the tent scene with you, where Morgan was the only one to convince you not to fight. And then being in the throne room with you as like, maybe your acting is just too good, but the way that you said, don't you touch her. Like, I was like, he loves me. He loves Morgan. I was like, there's no way around it. Like and I guess I didn't hold weight to those moments when I read it the first time, because I was looking at Farrah and Rhys. That's all I cared about. And so now that I getting to experience that love from Azriel, like in the film, I'm just like, I ship them now, because I'm just like, there's so much.
I love Az and Gwen. That's my ship, is Az and Gwen. But see, Az and Elaine at the same time, you and freaking Maury, I was like, dang it. Like, stop confusing me.
This is my thing.
Totally sorry, listeners, this is whatever, but hopefully it's enjoyable anyway. We're just kind of going off.
When it comes to as in these other two, you get the bonus scene. I think that's very, very helpful. Essentially, I think is with Elaine, his shadows like recede.
Yes.
With
Morgan too. It's Morgan and Elaine are the only two that are described.
Gwen is the only one that
his
like
shadows actually
comes together, right?
Like, oh,
so I think that's if you could think of it in a way where it's like a bad thing that they like Gwen, like that they're trying to envelop him, they're trying to hide him, he's trying to they are getting
because it's described in the bonus chapter that it's like more, it's a positive thing that the shadows back away from Elaine because she's so bright and light and full of light. That's how I took it.
She sees his true form. She sees Azriel and not the Shadow Singer, not the Spy Master, but she sees the little boy.
Yes,
with his oiled hands.
Oh, not the hands.
That like sits next to his mom's bedside and just wants to give him a cupcake. Like she just like wants like she just wants.
Did his mom die?
She's like,
where is she?
I don't know where his mom is. Probably like still in that cell.
Probably.
I don't know, chilling. Waiting for him to visit him like once a week.
Don't say that.
But she probably like
Cassie and Azriel are both bastards.
Elaine would be the one to like walk up to Azriel and give him a flower, and him him like accept it and it mean like the most. Whereas like Gwen, I think I've heard the theory that like Gwen and Azriel are father and daughter, and I don't see
Well,
What?
that at
Tamlin's. They
all.
said Tamlin's daughter.
I've heard that one too, and I'm like, I don't see that. But
Mm-mm.
have fun, people. Whatever your like reasonings and evidence that you have behind it, like cool. We're
Whatever
all having
floats
fun
your boat.
speculating. I love
Yeah,
conspiracy
same.
theories, but on top of it, I think when it comes to Gwen, it's very one sided. You can see that she's very much seeking his attention, and he's very much like not giving it to her.
But see, that's what I can't
Yeah.
wait, because I
And-
want him to like have that moment. Like I want there to be like more where they like have this like moment of like
more.
no, like where they have like this moment of Azriel finally kind of sees this entire time like, oh my gosh, because we haven't really had that
Mhm.
yet in any of the tropes.
Yeah.
Like, because they're not enemies to lovers. It wouldn't be like, they would be more or less like, I don't know, like he would just finally realize like, wow, this girl is the one for me, or having like this like crazy respect. And I just also want to see Gwen just blossom into like
Mhm.
more than what she is now. Like I really want to see her kind of like take more ownership and kind of like find her voice, find her boldness. And I feel like
Mhm.
that,
She doesn't need Azriel to do
but
that.
I know, but I think that would
That's what I'm
be
saying. Like, what does this like relationship mean?
no,
Yeah,
but
what
like
does that
this is
have to do
what I'm
with
saying. I
that?
want her to like kind of like, but Azriel can be like there, like
Have an
helping
arc?
her, kind of, yeah, and like have like her own arc, and then Azriel kind of can be there while she's like forming this whole arc and this whole journey with herself, and
Mhm.
then Azriel at the same time was like, damn, wait, I actually really like her. Wait, I can have this moment where like something can go wrong, and all of a sudden he has like this snap into feelings, like, wait, I really care. Like she might die, and I actually really care right now, and this could be really scary for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing that really threw me off with the bonus chapter is that he really shot himself in the foot for me.
Really?
Like he did
Oh?
something completely out of character
Wait,
when he was
why?
like,
Oh,
he was like, "What? You guys get a
Yes.
sister? Why don't I get a sister?"
But
I
I
was
feel
like,
like that makes him
what?
very real and realistic.
Fair, but
I
not
actually
really.
like him because of that. Like everyone's like, "Oh, whatever" with ads, but I actually it humanizes him, and it's a very real feeling like that. People who are like either close friendships. I'm sure like I don't know. I'm not a man, so but I can only relate with like female friendships. Like, oh, your girlfriends start getting boyfriends, and everyone's got whatever, or everyone's getting married, and you're looking around, you're like, what about me? And so I think it's just like a very natural response where he's, they've
Yeah.
been all banded brothers for 500 years without, just soiling their oats and doing whatever they want. And now they're all wifed up, and Azriel's just like, well, there's 3 sisters and there's 3 boys. It has to be like there's 2 of them already done. It has to be fate. That I mean,
Yeah,
it makes sense to me.
I can see it. I can see that being a thing, but I also don't see it being like, why does it have to be the other Archeron?
yeah.
Why
I
does
don't think it
why can't
is. I
just
just
be
think
like
he
somewhere else?
thinks he.
That's
I
what he
think he's
thinks,
lonely.
right?
He's lonely.
He's lonely, but then like she makes him feel a certain way too. Like it's like she's like one of the only people that can do that to him. Like I think all I
Yeah.
know is I want him to be happy, but
Yeah.
I don't. I need him and his like Dorian self of like being able to do what like ever moves and whatever like if it breathes, I have to put something inside of it. Like like I need him to calm down his freaky self
That wasn't
and stop
when
trying
I
to
was reading the
do.
bonus chapter. I was like, wait, Azriel, Jesus, oh my goodness.
He's like, I'm like, you need. How big are your pants, bro? Like how
but
many
I mean,
3 legs in those pants?
is that also like, I don't know, again, not to be weird, whatever, but is that like a guy thing? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's a natural guy thing to do. Would
Just
think
to,
about
like,
your crush. I don't know, right? It feels like I mean,
dude,
maybe
the
it's like
wind could
cringy to put it
blow
on
and
a
something could
page,
happen,
but
you know?
it's
Like,
maybe Sarah said maybe
she contacted her
thought it was
husband.
realistic.
She was like, hey, husband, what do you think? Anyway,
Yeah.
but I really do think,
obviously we don't want to.
I don't want to know. I'm good. I'm good. But anyway, I just think, I mean, I wouldn't mind Azriel and Elaine. Let me say that. I would not mind that at all, just because I think that'd be kind of cute. But then again, I think Sarah
nope.
wouldn't give us 3 brothers, 3 sisters. I don't think she likes us that much.
She wasn't even supposed to give us 2 brothers.
No, yeah, I think she's wholeheartedly,
Yeah.
we can tell by how many times she's hurt us and broken us and thrown a glass, that she's like, I'm not giving you what you want. I'm going to make sure you feel pain. And actually, do Do you think Elaine? Actually, you mentioned it earlier. Do you think Azriel is like the one that's going to betray everyone?
I don't.
Why is
I
there
don't
gotta be a
necessarily.
betrayer?
She said that. Sarah said it.
Because I think she's stated.
Yeah.
She stated that there
Wait,
would be
what?
Someone
someone.
like from the inner circle is
No.
going to betray.
Yeah, there was an interview.
Wait,
There's
what?
somebody
I
in the inner
missed
circle.
this. Please send it
Yeah.
to me if you
Yeah.
find it. What? I thought everyone was just off their rocker, just saying stuff.
There's
She
a, there's
said
a
that
betrayer.
for sure. She
Yeah,
said
yeah.
for
She
sure.
said there's a betrayer, and a lot of people say it's
Mhm.
more. A lot of people say it's more. I don't think it's Azrael. I don't think it's necessarily Morgan.
It's like Clue.
I think
You think it's Elaine?
at the end of the day, Moore has this like
Elaine.
ability of truth. I've heard Elaine.
I think I could see Elaine because I could see. Ooh, boy, that would make it even better. Not only does she leave the night court, she betrays the night court. And maybe it's a betrayal because she's going to the spring court and then she's actually mated with Tamlin and then they live happily ever after. And I get all my dreams coming true. And Azrael finds happiness somewhere else. In Crescent City. Something like that. He goes over there. He finds his mate, who's Rhys' sister. And then they live
Your
happily ever
headcanon's made
after.
up.
There we go.
I just think with Moore and her ability to like, it's truth,
Mhm.
right? Don't like I have the ability of truth. What does that mean?
It's
I
like
think
fucking
I think it's very much like Doctor Strange.
truth and truth teller.
Oh.
I think she like knows the truth and the outcome of like decisions that will like that she knows like what will happen, like how is it going to come out, like she's like what, how many possibilities do we have it, this is how many possibilities we have, and this is the true one, this is the truth of like how life will go forward. And I think that Elaine has something very comparable where she can
The
see
future.
those futures. She sees exactly what happens with her knowing the truth of what's going on and knowing what's going to happen, just because like I don't know how this like makes sense in my head, but like Az knows this. Az knows that Moores knows this. This is why he's silent in those moments. This is why he's doing the things that he does for Morgan. She's integral. She knows a lot more than we are letting on, and so does Az.
And that's why she's the
Az
third in
can't say
command,
anything.
I guess.
Mm-hmm. I'm number
Yeah.
Yeah,
three.
so maybe that's
Yeah,
why.
that's gotta provide like she's almost like these certain things have to like line up and happen in this order for this to be happening, and then Elaine just confirms like as the seer like this is what's happening, this is right, we're on the right path. And Moore's like I have constructed
Yeah,
this.
like I knew
have
this
made
needed to
way
happen.
truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've made all of these things true, so now like it'll happen.
So Moore's like the
We're,
DM, like the dungeon master.
She's kind of like she's pulling the strings.
Yeah, she's the dungeon
She's
master.
making sure
of
like her
everyone.
little instances are happening. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'm
Yeah,
giving her too much power. Maybe, like, but I don't think that she's gonna be the bad guy. I don't know who is. I don't. I think we've already made a villain of people inside the inner circle too often. Like it was like Amryn was the bad guy for like 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Like I hardly remember that scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like we've already.
Yeah, she
like,
was in
made-
Akawar, yeah.
What was it? Rhys is like been like hinted to be the bad guy, or like he's not the same as how he was in the first 4 books. Maybe
I
because
mean,
we've seen him
she's
from Nesta's
lining
perspective.
it up that way.
But
She
I mean,
keeps
this is the first book that
making
we've
him
seen
a
out
dick,
of.
and you haven't read it yet, but she keeps making him a dick.
I can see why he would be though.
Yeah.
Like we
But-
see, like the 5th book is written in Nesta's perspective,
But he's
So
a
then,
dick in
like-
Frost and Starlight too, in his own
but
head.
Frost
to
and Starlight
Tamlin.
is also terrible. Like,
It's not. It's really not that. I mean, it's not that. It's got some good scenes, like in with him when
It
he goes
ruined
to
Lucian.
Tamlin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have to reread it, but I just know that if obviously for me, the Tamlin moment really stuck out when Rhys goes to visit him in the manor,
Yeah,
and he's so mean. And even in his head, he's literally like, "I don't care if this guy like unalives himself." And to me, that showed me a lot about Rhys. Still love him, but it showed me a lot about him.
I think they had to break him. They have to break Tamlin. They have to like truly bring him. Like after what he did, like Tamlin was kind of a bigger dick. Like if you
Was
think
he?
about it, I don't know. He kind of just like
Because
sided with Hybern, took to the
he
sisters.
didn't side with
dumped them into a
Hybern. He was a
cauldron.
double agent.
I think Tamlin has a lot of
The
low
whole time he was a
character
double
moments,
agent.
but it's not the testament to his character. They're low character moments,
Yeah.
but it's like not his defining character moments. And I think
He had to put his mask on.
what?
He had to put his mask on. His was it Court of Nightmares mask. like he had to be like his dick
Yeah,
self.
I think a lot of the, well,
Rhys-Ann?
Tamlin and Rhys-Ann, I think a lot of these
Mhm.
characters.
But Rhys, even outside of the mask, is a dick. Like
Yeah.
many, many, many times. He's
Yeah,
morally
learn to
gray. He
read.
is just as morally gray. Like
Anyway,
Maybe
back
worse
to
than
I had learned to read
Azriel.
earlier.
I know, but
Yeah, you're right,
Azriel's
you're right, you're right.
also morally gray. Like they're all none of them are, perfect and like they wouldn't be realistic if they were perfect.
Yeah, they're all bad
But
boys.
hear me out. Azriel and Nesta, you'll see them in Crescent City 3. They have like the cutest and the sweetest friendship. And
Mm-hmm. Which is really interesting that she like delved that out. Like that's an unlikely
it
pair.
just,
I think that's
yeah,
fun.
it's so fun. And
Yeah.
like I said, like when I first read Akhtar, I was like, Azriel's not really it for me. But then again, seeing the next snap, and then also just reading Crescent City 3 and just seeing how great he is with Nesta. And I love Nesta. I'm a Nesta girly till the day I die. And
Oh,
how, like, I just imagine Nesta and Az have to have some wild nights at Rita's where they're just like BFFs. And I feel like Azriel's just, again, this loyal, wonderful soul who just, I feel like he is, like when you have like a guy friend and Quinn Reed's boyfriend Cory is Azriel. He's like when we all just went out at an event together, and it's just they're always looking out for all the women in their life. And they're
Yeah.
always like keeping an eye. Actually, Cory, you're very similar because it was day 2 of filming on chapter 70, and you came over to me randomly and you said, "Hey, I haven't seen you all day. How are you? Are you okay? Are you doing okay? I just want to check in and make sure you're okay." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, no, I'm great. Thanks so much for checking in." Like, it was just something like I think Azrael's that kind of guy as well. I really think he's just a solid dude who just, he cares about the people in his life. He cares fiercely. And also, he always, like I said, he's always there for the damsel in distress. And
Right.
I don't know why and I don't know how, but there has to be a secret power in his shadows that
He's a
he
hero.
is a hero. He's a hero.
He's Spider-Man.
He's a good guy.
He
Ugh.
is.
Love him to bits, but I love Azrael and Nesta's friendship. Like,
Man.
Is Azriel now my favorite?
Yeah.
Like what?
Hey.
He
You
seems like
probably
he
said that at
does
the end of
seem
every
like
podcast
the
about deep
nicest.
dive.
He does
Yeah,
seem like the
I mean,
like
it is weird
he-
that, isn't that right? Like he is like kind of a freak. Like
Yeah.
we get that from SJM. She's like, he's a freak in the sheets. So like, cool,
Yeah.
that's awesome. But he also is like got this really haunted, dark past. But we just kind of perceive him as like, because he's quiet and he doesn't like do
Keep
anything
Batman.
wrong, and he's defensive of his ladies in his life. He's just like this little sweet bean. That he's just like,
he's a good
he's
dude.
just a little guy, you know.
He's a good dude.
Yeah,
a
and I
little
think you can
guy.
see that with him like giving Elaine truth teller, him saving her from the camp, like him also like making like it says multiple times like after everything, all the trauma, like he's there for her. He like develops a friendship with her. And again, like, okay, yeah, he definitely is attracted to her because obviously she's beautiful. I think it definitely didn't start out that way, like with those intentions of like, oh, what was me? I think he just is a genuinely nice guy, and he saw a woman in a bad situation, and she had no friends, and he befriended her.
Guys, I'm not
And that's
trying
why
to
they give
become
each
an
other really
as
nice
girly.
stuff. He's so nice.
You're trying really hard, actually.
Also,
You're trying really, really hard.
I misremembered the bonus chapter. Everyone always says like, "Oh my god, he regifted the necklace. Like how could he do that?" Elaine is the one who takes the necklace off and lays it on the pile of gifts. She's the one who gives it back to him. And yes, he did regift it, but he didn't just take it away. He put it on her neck, then got called away to Rhys, then went to the whatever House of Wind or whatever, and then he came back to pick up his gifts, and that's when he saw the necklace. And then he took it,
was,
and then he was going to return it, but then he gave it to the priestess.
He gave it to Gwen, I think, anonymously.
Mm-hmm.
It was anonymous, and then the lady was fighting with him, and he was like, then just say it's, fine, then just give it to anyone who you think would like it. And she's like, oh no, she'd look really good in this. And then that's when he has the commentary of like, yeah, she would, she has really pretty eyes, this and that. And then he was imagining her lighting up when she saw it.
So Cory,
which just makes him a nice person, not that he's in love with her.
What is your favorite Azriel scene? Like, if you could say that when you read the series, what is like a scene from Az that like totally stood out to you?
Dude, I love this scene when he's explaining like the history of who was it? I love it, and I don't even know like the names of the people involved, but it's the history of that like one researcher that had like really small wings, and she had to like fly
Oh
around
yeah.
and save everybody, even though she like wasn't like the most like strong or powerful or fast or whatever, but like she pushed her boundaries and she pushed herself beyond her capabilities to be able to like really save those that she cared about. And then like as goes on to say like I always talk to the boys about like how our greatest weaknesses could be our best strengths, and how like a hero can come from like the most unlikely person.
Yes.
So it's like he is so uplifting to Feyre. He is so massively in her corner and like willing to like he just knows what to say, and he has such a great mindset on it. And I just remember like that whole story that he told. I remember it very vividly, and I remember like when I was listening to the book, like having it really play out as like a movie in my head. And then he goes to say something that just like as profound as that, just like to help her continue going on. Essentially being like, you're nothing, but like, hey, you could help us out. Who knows? Like the war's
Who
in like
knows? You
4
could be
months,
something.
so
I
just like
love
if you
that.
learn to fly, maybe. Like who knows? But it's just
He's
I don't know. It really stuck
so
out.
awesome. What the hell?
He doesn't
Damn
say
it.
anything for like this entire time, and he says that.
Ugh.
He drops that bomb on us.
I feel like what he doesn't say a lot, but when he says something, it's very meaningful.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everything that he does say holds weight.
Maybe that's why him and Nesta get along so well. Do you think they talk?
Maybe. I mean, it makes you wonder, like, when he was talking to Moore, like, and maybe he was going to confess his love to her or not. Like, maybe the words he was saying were just hitting home so hard, and they were just too heavy for her to hold at that moment.
Yeah.
And then, like, she's like, I have to walk away from the situation because everything that you're saying. She's like, maybe she knows that Az would give her the world, but she's not able to
Reciprocate.
Well, that's
to-
why
to
like
do
she
that,
didn't sleep
you know?
with him, and like I think that's why she puts him
It
at
would
arm's
mean more.
length.
It would mean the most to him. It would mean
Yeah, it would
be something that
destroy him.
he would be more loyal
Oh
to
my
her,
God.
I believe, than he would to Rhys.
Do you guys
know?
watch Grey's
And so-
Anatomy?
I can't.
I pick up the bits that Dakota watches.
No, I don't watch Grey's
over
Anatomy.
the years.
George O'Malley.
Hmm.
Where's Dakota?
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't know though why it would be so hard for people to believe in unrequited love. Like it is a thing that happens in the real world.
It absolutely can, yeah.
You know,
Describe
like
what
some
you
people
mean.
go their whole lives like with the mindset of like the one that got away, or like just that one, or the somebody in their head.
She means like
I don't know.
unrequited love, like
Hmm.
Azriel loves Moore, but Moore doesn't like love Azriel.
Like I feel like why do people want to like wish that away as if it's like it can't be possible?
I mean, I would love. What if in this way that we were talking about,
Not to
like
keep
him
bringing
and
it back
Gwen-
to this, but
with him and Gwen, like imagine like instead of it being the way of like he sees Gwen finally he notices Gwen and like how great she is and like accepts her love, if that's what we want to call it. What if it's like the flip flop where like Moore finally sees what Azriel could mean to
Mhm.
her?
I just love Moore and Emery though. I
And
love them.
And I don't. That
There's
isn't
nothing
even,
on a
like,
page
happened,
with them
though.
yet.
There's
It's-
not one thing. Like
I
we
would
just
love
like
even
take
that.
two women and put them
I would
together.
need-
like, just,
yeah, I would
I don't
need-
know.
I
When
think-
Emery was just like gawking at her and like how she spoke about her, I was like,
She's the princess of the night court. Of course,
Yeah,
she's gonna
she's
gawk.
hot.
I mean,
gawk
if
a little bit.
SJM can take me on a really good like journey, like I do need to be built up a little bit.
yeah.
To get there, if more, or if
Hear
she
me
wants to
out.
throw us for a
Imagine if
curveball
like
with
Moore wants to go on her own journey. SJM, take this idea, run with it, do what you want on her like horses and everything that she has, and then like Rhys or someone's like, you just need a bodyguard with you, and then it's like take one of the Valkyries, and Nesta's like, I'll give you one of my Valkyries, and then she takes Emery, and then they go on this whole journey together, and you just have like this. Slow burn. I don't know. I love
You need this fanfic.
someone
this
write
fanfic.
it. But anyway,
Yeah.
The
If
issue
anyone
is
has
just,
an
like,
Azriel Moore fanfic, send it to me though. I need
Because
that.
Moore is already like in it with like was it a shop? It's the barkeep.
I
Not
think
think
every
so.
is, but
She has
like,
something going on.
like they have like their own little thing going, and it's just like, oh, this is cute.
But I'm also under the whole thing of like, why do they have to be with somebody? Why
Yeah,
does
that's
everybody
fair.
have to
What I
have
need.
somebody?
maybe
Why
Elaine
can't
will
they just
never have
be?
anyone.
We need
We
love.
love.
I'm thinking maybe Azriel will never have
Oh,
anyone.
I would hate that for him. He deserves someone to like worship the ground. Guys, at the end, now we're at the point in the episode
They all do.
where
Everyone.
Azrael needs someone to kiss the ground that man walks on because he's just perfect. Like,
Oh, do you feel
I don't know,
differently now?
guys. I don't know. I don't know. I really,
Are you a
I really like
change?
this guy.
Been changed for the better. Because
I just think he's.
I mean,
We're
I
just.
just love the fact that he's like he's got the gall to walk into a dining room, eat a salad while Nesta's underneath the table, giving
A
Cassian
great time.
a great time. But I mean, like, he doesn't need that kind of ranch on his salad. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's just like, why
do
is this
you
even
think
happening?
book 6 will? Who do you think book 6 will follow?
Ooh,
Will
I
it
should
be
have looked into this. There's like what, 3 more books
Mhm.
left?
Maybe. Who knows? It's
there's-
SJM. Who knows?
And a novella. One of them, I think, is a
I think-
novella.
think
I think.
frick. I don't
She can
know.
do whatever
I'm,
she wants.
At the end of the day, I think it's going to be about Elaine.
Yeah.
I think it's going to flesh out Elaine in like the Lucian. I just there's a scene in the book where you see like Lucian right before he leaves off to his mansion of misfits, and nobody loves me, so I'm running away. So he runs away, but right before he
Until
does,
Wesley said that.
he looks back. I love Wes; he's great. He turns back, and we all can say pause. We all know book 1 Lucian goated. Everything else garbage. Like, they ruined him.
He did.
They ruined him. Anyway, Pharaoh Lucian Forever book 1.
It's because she changed the whole changed
She
her
changed
mind.
the whole script. It's
Mhm.
fine. Anyway, the book says
It was gonna be
there was
Lucian
a
and
moment
Nesta.
where like Elaine is like looking out the window, all sad and cry, because that's all she did for an entire book. And
She's just Bella
then
from.
you have
Maybe.
Lucian like trying and pining and being like, "You're my mate. Please love me. Please, I'm here. I'm here." And then
Here's
he's like, "No, I'm
gloves.
gonna leave." He goes to leave, and then he looks back. She's still looking out the window, and then he goes, "Huh," and he walks out. And then she turns around and goes, "Huh," and doesn't even notice anyone was there. And she goes, "Huh," and then goes back out to the window. And I think that's perfect symbolism for the fact that, like, yes, they're mates, but they missed. They missed
Yeah.
the mark.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen. I mean, it's either we get the trope that it's the 3 boys with the 3 girls, or we get the trope that it's with everyone gets mated with their mate. Everyone gets mates.
Or Tamlin.
Yay! We know that we can deny the mating bond and we can leave. And in the bonus chapter, Az is straight up like, I can beat him though. And we
I
know
know
he
he's so
could.
cocky.
we
know
know
he
we
could.
know Az would wipe the floor with Lucian, even though Lucian's awesome and he probably has a lot of really cool things. Az would wipe the floor. Goodbye. Az wouldn't even have to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his shadows.
It's crazy.
And
Why do you think Rhys cared so much? Like, he talks about the politics of it and like the duel and the whole at Autumn Court and like relations. Like, do you think he's just pulling like the High Lord political card there, or do you think he thinks like, or he's trying to like protect? Like, I don't know. Like, what? Why? Because Rhys is I don't
know.
know.
I think I mean I mentioned something earlier, just the fact that like maybe he's doing it because as you're mated with my sister, what do you think you're doing?
Yeah.
How dare you? But he doesn't want to bring out those points because we can't spoil the good surprise. She's still alive out there somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's all very big speculation. Hardly anything to really support it. But I think it's just fun to think about. But I mean, I think Rhys is just kind of like, he's got plans. He's got an agenda. He can't have his like main guy getting distracted with a lady. I don't think he wants him with anybody. I don't think it's not necessarily I don't want you with Elaine. Granted, he does specifically. I don't want you to touch her. You touch her, you're to it back to the tree. Like,
Yeah. Go.
why
Pay
is it always
for
a
it.
tree?
He said, "Go pay for it
Like,
somewhere else if you
yeah,
want
it's
some."
just like what.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we see that Rhys is training Cassian to be more than just a warrior and a general of armies. Like, he's teaching him how to delegate and be a voice rather than just a muscle. Whereas like Az has been that voice this entire time, which is odd for the quiet guy to be the one that goes out and delegates and is doing the intercontinental and
Court.
court like relations. But he's basically like the messenger dude. He's the Hermes of the story, I guess. Like just kind of bebop bopping around doing all the, let me take this, let me talk about this, let me drop this off here, let me go save this damsel and then come back here. And like he's always the kind of guy doing that. I think Rhys has a plan. I don't
Yeah.
think he wants him getting messed
Do
up
you
with
think
like if he gets messed up with a girl.
it's when
Mm,
remember
go
when
ahead.
Amarin says there's gonna be one high king for like all of Prithian to rule? Do you think that's the plan? Even though Rhys said I don't want that,
Who
but
says
I
this?
think I wonder if more is like
In Silver Flame.
homie,
Amryn wants it.
you don't want it, but guess what? It might happen. And do you think Rhysand is?
I mean,
He's like kind of getting his chips in a row, ducks in a row, chips in line, whatever.
I
the
think
line is.
he might know that it might come to that. I don't know if he would leave the Night Court to Amryn or more. He might leave it to like, if he were to leave the Night Court into anybody's hand, I think I can see it going to Azriel. But also, I see like the Dusk
I
Court
think
being
more.
started by Cassian and Nesta, the new High Lord and High Lady of the Eighth Court,
Mhm.
along with the Valkyries being their warriors. I talked to Colin about this theory for a while now
Oh, gosh.
of that whole thing, but we can go to a Cassian deep dive at any point. I love it, but
We have to have
I
Zach
think
on for it.
if we did do a if Rhys did get elevated to that kind of status, even though he doesn't want it, and Amaran's saying that it's going to happen, I guess I could see Azrael
Can
kind
you
of like
imagine
taking a position of
Azriel, like the biggest fuck you to his dad, would be like, guess what? I'm High Lord of the Night Court now. You answer to me, Dad. And his brothers.
See that oil over there? Stick your hands in it.
Oh, I want that redemption for him. Gosh, guys, I love him.
Well, Moore though already runs the Court of Dreams in like Hume City, Hewn
Yeah.
City.
And I think that's where
So
she belongs. I think that's where she stays.
Oh.
Not necessarily
Just
like
kidding.
that she can't be highly. I mean, give her high lady status. Absolutely, I think she'd be a great leader. But
It's fine.
I think she really does run that area really
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
Like Az has been like delegated with everybody all around, whereas like Moore's already got a tarnished reputation with the Autumn Court, so that would already be really really like tough.
Tumultuous.
Yeah, you're
Whereas
right.
like
I can't
like,
wait to
we
find
just-
out what actually happened with Azrael or with Eris and Moore, because Eris like gave us that nugget at the end of the book to Cassian of like, you know,
Mhm.
like basically you don't know the whole story kind of thing. And
I would like
cannot
to
wait.
think that like he did it for good intentions, but it's really hard to think of everything that actually happened and him being like, "Hey, this is gonna be the good thing for you, I promise." Like,
I don't know.
like,
I'm like
I'm gonna stab
everyone.
you.
All Eris had to say was that one line to Cassian, implying that everything wasn't as what it seems, and everyone was like, "Oh, Eris," and me too. I was like, "Oh, Eris is great," but I kind of thought he was pretty smexy the whole time. But then again, people can't do that just for a damn too. I'm like, Eris stabbed her, or is potentially, you know, they say whatever, and he says one line, and the whole fandom swoons.
I think
But
Eris is
Tamlin
slimy.
saves Rhysand, Elaine, does all this. No swooning.
No redemption for Tam Tam.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I just find
Tonka
it
Trunk
funny
doesn't
the
get any
parallels
love.
there. Okay, so we're gonna have to wrap up in a minute, but I wanted to go down just like poke your head like as far as like film stuff.
Oh yeah.
So if you were to do the bonus chapter with Elaine, how would you approach that playing Azriel in that?
I definitely
And also,
have to
do you think
stuff
that'd
my
be
pants.
fun?
And also, if we made it a mini
don't-
scene, would it be fun?
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely, it was super fun. I think I would love to see if I could crack Maury.
Ooh,
That's what I would be like. My
She's so
goal would be like, let's see if we can really like how far we can push this until like someone blushes too hard and just cracks. Because we like her and I have never been in a situation where we actually had to do anything like that to an intimate level, like in front
Yeah.
of each other. And
Right.
I mean, we see like the silly like backstage stuff of us trying to be like silly in love, and it's just like we're cackling. We're like little kids.
Well, you guys are so close,
giggling
like,
and
and that's like
shy.
Dakota and Maury are like super close. So I'm sure it's kind of like
They're wives.
yeah, they're like that's like
They're
Maury
wives.
calls her like that's my wife. She's like that's my wife.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cory, that's why you're just fiancés because
Yeah.
Maury married Dakota. Not really, but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that'd be cool.
I've accepted
It's
it.
okay.
I've
But yeah,
accepted it
that
as
would
Yeah,
be
but I
fun.
wonder
I
too.
think-
Yeah, I do wonder if you could keep a straight face. Because
No,
it is a very
I think you
intense
could.
scene.
You worked at Disney.
Mm.
I saw that dip at
Okay.
chapter
I think I
70, the
could.
premiere. I was like, that was
Yeah.
someone literally was standing behind me and goes, that was so smooth. And I was like, that's Disney Prince training for you right there.
I feel like I've done enough, but I mean, who knows? That would be a lot more, and I kind of hearken it to a scene that maybe was filmed for 65. It would be very much kind of like that kind of scene because I feel
Mhm.
like there is a little bit of intimacy that's done there.
Yeah.
And I would love to see Max.
Oh yeah.
angry.
So I was just about
Like-
to ask you, would you be mad if
angry.
it didn't go
Like,
all the way to him?
mad.
Do you want to be yelled at by Max?
Oh, bring it on! Because it would go beyond tense scene. That would, like
Mhm.
he would be like he's like, don't go out there, dude. You're hurt and you're gonna go. I don't want you getting dead. Okay, I want you're hurt. And this would be like, bro, you better listen to me, or I will snap so many bones in your body. Like,
And he has
Like,
it in
he-
him.
like
Saw
yeah,
it in
like, I
65.
know you can take that out. I probably would cry, but like it's fine.
Ugh, I was like, oh,
it's fine.
We'll understand why
But
Azriel
like
was
at
like,
that point,
okay,
my
it's a
question to
mistake.
you would be like, who would your Gwen be?
well, it wouldn't. I don't think we would go.
Gwen.
I don't think we'd be able to go all the way that far. That'd be way too long of a scene.
Would it be Wes because he's a
Yeah,
redhead now?
we're just gonna have Wes come in.
It would have to stop. It would
He's
have
like,
to. It would either
"Fine."
stop right before, like when he yells at you in your head, or it would stop at the end of your exchange with Max. Because I mean,
I
Max
think what would
yelling
be
at you
really
iconic.
influential is just seeing the necklace as like the last thing on the pile of presents and then your face. That would be a really good way to end it.
Yeah.
You coming back, winnowing back, and looking
And like
at,
seeing
yeah,
like grabbing your
that would
presents
be-
and seeing the necklace there
Yeah, before you,
and then
yeah.
being like,
Because Gwen's not even in
I
that
think-
scene anyway. Gwen's not in the bonus chapter.
no,
Yeah.
she's mentioned.
You don't
But
even
I
s-
think that would be.
I mean, actually, she is actually in the bonus chapter.
don't-
You're right.
They
She
talk.
is.
They
She
talk.
is. They talk. But we can't.
Yeah.
It's too much set. That's
Yeah.
too much money. We can't go that far.
Yeah, no,
We
I
can't
think
have
it'd
a
be
whole
fun to
nother
see
training
the
camp set.
I don't
necklace.
know. I think that would be a really fun scene, like a little bonus
Yeah.
scene. To
I
film
love
it.
that. I would love that. That'd be super cool for sure. I
How-
think we go talk about the. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, go.
You first.
Well, no, I was just gonna continue on the film stuff. If
Oh,
you,
I was gonna ask, like, with the present stuff. I think it's very interesting to kind of look at the presents that Azriel gives people. The necklace
Ah.
seems to be like one of the first one that he really thinks about.
Mhm.
Whereas, like, even with his affection for more or whatever, it seems to be like very repetitive. I think Az is just like, here's a pair of socks.
Yeah.
Here's a pair of socks.
After 500
Everyone needs
years,
a pair of socks. You know.
what can you give?
But go ahead, film stuff.
Oh, so I was gonna say like the another big scene that everyone talks about is always like the High Lords meeting. Obviously, like you literally choke Eris out in that. Like, what is that? I just what like in the you have that iconic line. Like, would you feel? How would you feel about that scene and doing pressure? Like the pressure of that. Like,
Hey, give me the reason to make more bovine sounds. Like they bring it on.
like would you practice
I-
that line like
That's
over and
great.
over again? And you're like,
Yeah, I would.
be like, Dakota, does this
I've
sound
already-
okay?
I'd have to practice it in the accent and kind of like feel like what the intention is, because I think in the book he says it, he like yells it,
Mm-hmm.
like the "How dare you" that whole
Mhm.
bit. But like, I would love if it like started off as like a low whisper,
Yeah.
and then Tamlin just kind of goes, "What did you say?" or something like along like that lines, and he just like you just see like a pan up, and you just like it's just fire in his eyes, just like, "Don't you dare!"
Like, be careful how you speak about my
And
my
then-
lady. Oh.
Yeah, just getting crazy with it. Like I don't maybe that would like kind of ruin the intention.
Like,
Of,
you
like, just
do
how
realize
snappy
people
and
want
quick
that scene because
line.
of that.
They're
They've given us other reasons, but I don't believe them. I think it's just
Homie,
that.
Homie,
They want
like,
us to fund an
the-
entire like 25, 30-minute fan film just for you to say that line. So if
Hey,
we
hey,
do it
the-
ever, no pressure.
click this link to donate to.
here's the link.
You want to see anything happen? Like, please, like, you have all, by all means. There's a lot of chairs involved, and chairs are expensive. So,
So can I ask a question for chapter 70? Since we haven't really had you on or had gotten to speak about it, what was one of your favorite moments of chapter 70 filming? Like, I guess you could say like in all of it, or you could just say character moment. You can say like just like when you think back to chapter 70 and you're like, that was cool.
So going back to chapter 70, I guess with I mean, that was the first time we all kind of like got to be on a set together. It I guess my favorite moments were just kind of the ones where you got to see everyone do their thing. You got to see like Colin's handiwork get put into action. You got to see the film crew really like bust out their chops. You got to see like the massive army that we got together, just kind of clashing and learning on using all the stunt choreo that they used, and just like I don't know, like even going into 65 without any like sharing any details, just like watching like you both
share a
grow.
few.
But it's like seeing like where you guys came from all that, because like not only were you both amazing in the first one, but like you see like absolute growth in your guys's performances in 65. They're like you guys obviously didn't stay stagnant. You guys have practiced. You guys have put even more work and effort into trying to convey your characters to like the best of your abilities, and it just like that elevated everybody around them. Not only seeing you guys do that, seeing Drew do that, seeing Zach do that, seeing Stephen Walker step up and match that same energy, along with Wes, and seeing the two sisters in their nightgowns, like just like everything. Like so, you see everybody rise to the occasion, and just being a part of that energy and creating that family aspect of it all. It truly is just it takes the cake. It takes the cake. I may not be in the group chat often, but man, do I love being. And it's very Azriel just to sit back and watch.
Shadows.
But it is just truly like oh, the fam's still alive and well. They're still doing it, and even maybe some bad things happen. You know, maybe someone gets sick or
COVID.
That's my least favorite. That's my least favorite. Everyone getting COVID after 65.
After everyone's screaming at everyone's face
all day, but it was fun. It was
yeah.
I'm okay. So to shout
nothing but floor
Cory
talk.
out, I have to say
floor time, floor mates.
There is a moment. Well, actually, it happens in the book, so it's not a big deal. So when Cory and Azriel get shot with the ash arrow, when I tell you that is an Oscar-worthy performance, we have all of the unedited footage. Like I have all of it. I can see it when I want. And I can't tell you how many times I have gone back to watch that. And I just, every time there's an exchange between him and Max in that moment that like makes my chest cave in. And it's a look given by these two people that somehow you can convey 500 years of memories of brotherhood and friendship given by just a simple look. And it was so beautifully done and perfectly done that it's still like it'll like choke me up, and my chest literally feels like it's caving in, because I'm just like, oh no, because it was, I just gotta throw some kudos there. I just gotta throw some kudos there. I don't know.
You guys decided that on like right there. You decided to look at him. Like that wasn't direction given to you.
Originally I was gonna look at Cassian, but just like in the way that everything kind of happened, it just like felt right with Max. And I think even Max was like, whoa. Like, I wasn't expecting that. Well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Ah! And I think when watching it back, like I looked at like Zach, and Zach was like, like he was like distraught. He was like, "That's crazy, bro." And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't realize like that would be so." I'm happy that there's something to look forward to. I'm happy you guys enjoyed it, and I'm happy that like you guys brought that level of performance out of me.
It was, I think,
and if I did you so,
it just shows without words the depth of the bond of Azriel and Rhys, and I think that's really incredible and speaks to you as an actor that you're able to bring that out. And again, just a look. And like you and Max, just that exchange with one another. And oh
Chemistry.
gosh, kills me. Literally crushed my soul, put it in a grinder. That was it right there. I was like, oh my goodness. It was this, again, 65. I don't think people are ready for how much emotion was literally just left in the Grand in Baltimore. If you go there, it's probably going to be like, if you walk in that room, it's probably heavy feeling because of what we did in there. Like everyone just screaming. You're probably going to hear the echoes of our screams forever.
It's going to be wild.
Yeah, your scream, Cory. Oh my God.
I think back about it. I'm like, could I have done that better? Could I have that? Like, it was
we
a
all
one take
think
or
that.
nothing.
We all, yeah.
I know. We're always going to say that about it, but like, it seemed pretty good.
Yeah.
I think
it was great.
And then
I think we definitely
leveling up your costume. Colin's costume. Can we
goodness.
talk about Colin's costume?
Oh yeah, how did you feel? Like,
jeez.
did putting that on help you get into character?
Oh yeah, I felt like a football player. I felt like I could hit anyone, and like they would fly backwards. Like it really it really truly is something about the vibe and the feel of your costume that kind of brings the character to life. Like I felt like a warrior in that moment, so I knew like what kind of energy I had to bring to this. The weight of having something on you, the wings, the leather. I mean, I didn't have a lot of metal on my person, which I think is genius
on Colin's part.
for like why like he would have some but not a ton. But he went in and just Colin went all out, bro. He went all out, and the fact that the change between wings that he did between just like what the first one was and then the second one, just being able to like shink, like slot them in and out.
Genius.
Like they were, I mean, it was done like
Yeah.
that. Like it was crazy. So
helped
like,
your backs a lot.
yeah, and I mean, I left that weekend feeling terrible, but it was probably COVID, to be honest. Like I get the worst backaches, and I was like, I'm laying down. Like why am my back hurt so bad? Like why did my back hurt? Like
We're sorry.
I'm dying right now. But I mean, it wasn't you guys. It was just nature. But no, I think it was the costume definitely changes the performance for sure. I mean, the both of you had some of Colin's handiwork on you guys as well, which changed the game.
I mean, you just posted it today. 70. That's still of all of us, and that's Colin's like favorite.
Yeah,
and you can just like we look like fucking badass warriors, and that's still staring down Jerian like he's a piece of meat.
And it's all of us. Like we're all in his stuff. Like just ready to like we all match. We all like go together. We all ready like to really rip somebody apart. And there's very little. There's very little that we could have done without him. Like there's nothing we could have done without him. He's awesome.
Phenomenal.
Real quick before we wrap up, what was your favorite moment of 65, or like your like what were your top few like moments or performances that you like saw in 65?
Dude, Wes is like I'm not gonna say it, but like. There's a scene that you zoom in on Wes, and I'm like, how did you do that? Like that's insane. Yeah. The magic that man made in that scene is insanity. So like, he's like kind of revitalized my like for Lucian, because like
everyone loves Wes.
He's kind of pittered out, but I love Wes. Great, Wes is great. I think he is a beautiful casting.
The fact that he dyed his hair for the role.
Oh yeah, so sick, so sick. Doing that, and then also just being able to watch just like the dynamic between Sierra and Maury, and kind of just like the ferocity that Sierra brings to the role.
Yeah.
Like there is nothing more feral than
the look
her in that moment.
When they get and on the ground, and then she just shakes her head and then like looks up, and the one I'm a Nesta dude. Like I'll die for Nesta, and like she did that look, and I said, "Ooh, heart be still, heart be still, be careful."
Well, it was amazing to see the contrast between the sisters.
Oh yeah, and Maury did a wonderful job.
Maury
God.
broke me.
Elaine in that moment.
Broke
Yeah.
my soul.
I had a hard time crying because the contacts were so drying, and that was the one time that was like easy. No, did not even have to work at it. Nothing. It was just instant tears seeing her face, and when they zoomed in on her face when she's getting dragged out. And in that moment, I was like, wait, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
such a dark scene and I can't handle this. And I love her so much. And she's in pain and I'm in pain because she's in pain. And this is not okay. And like, she's literally
Mhm.
getting dragged out from her bed. Like, I was so convinced. You could not tell me Maury's performance when her whimpers, it was the whimpers that sold me. Her little like whimpers that she does. I was like, you must have gotten dragged out of your bed. There's no other explanation for this to be so realistic, and you're so wonderful and great, and you're just phenomenal actress. Like, and then in between scenes, she could just, and I was just
And
like,
popping out of the
Back up, right?
cauldron. Remember when she's like,
yep, and she can just
No,
Every
on
time.
top
snap
of that-
in and out of it so quick. I was just like, they
Yeah.
yell cut, and she'd be like,
Back and forth, bro.
and I was like, the talent.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Crazy,
I was
right?
just so impressed by her. But anyway, yes.
In the Queens walking in.
oh,
I was like, "Mommy, sorry. Mommy, sorry.
yeah, 'cause
Mommy,
you-
sorry."
you got to watch it
I
'cause
was-
you were you on the floor watching them, or were you somewhere else?
I was I think I was on the floor for some of it, and I was
Okay.
I mean, they were there, and like watching them walk out anyway, like it's just super
They
cool.
brought
and, like,
it.
you picked, like the four of them just absolutely crushed it.
They made the
Crushed it.
queens like something that, I mean, because people don't really care or picture them, and no one's gonna ever forget them
Mhm.
now.
No, they're
They're
stunning.
iconic. They're like the
They're
muses
stunning.
in
No one's gonna
Hercules.
like. Everyone has a visual for like what all of them look like now.
Yeah.
I guess except for like the fifth one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Wait, how was it killing Dakota?
oh, bro.
Oh yeah. I think I'm so excited to see you guys' fight scene.
Oh yeah, dude. Everything. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for sure. We had like a little bit of complications with the wings just because trying to fit through the corridors and in such small spaces and stuff, and us being just so like wide. But like, it was super fun. Really cool to like kind of do all of that. I can't wait to see what Steven does with it, editing wise, and everybody like who's a part of the post production team. I think thank you for all the work that you guys do. Pre
They're
and post.
amazing.
You guys are awesome.
They're amazing.
I even got to do a little bit of boom mic, so I hope myself
Heck
is okay.
yeah, there's a special
Yeah,
scene
So-
that actually, well,
no,
I'm not
we're
going to say
cutting
who's
that
in
out.
it, but there's
No,
two
cutting that out.
scenes, right? That you boomed for.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
He boomed for
two scenes. Yeah,
Yes.
two special scenes
the Nessian scene.
and something else.
Mhm.
Yep.
We can say that. Yeah.
Yeah, can't say the other one, but
She was-
no, I'm
Well,
not
no,
going to say
no,
the
no,
other
we're
one.
gonna-
I'm not going to. No, that's not. I'm not going to ruin that because I am
Okay.
way
okay,
too excited
okay.
for that to come out.
No.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really cool that like that got to happen, but just being able to witness some of those things there and just kind of
You were the best boom
See that.
operator.
no,
You had a
the-
can-do attitude. You came in like you're just the best. You're just really such a great person and great human being. Like you're very selfless, and you just I don't know, Cory. You're just great.
positive energy.
You're just great.
Thank you. No, I try to mimic those around me, and you guys do a wonderful job of being.
So
amazing
real quick
people.
before
So
we do
it's
hop
the
off,
least I could
can
do.
I ask a quick question?
Mm.
Because you are so wonderful and you're so inspiring and you're all these wonderful things. Is this like what? Because I feel like you just inspire people around you, and I'm sure you've probably been told that your whole life. Is that what led you into hardcovers? Because for those of you who don't know, Cory is the owner, creator. I guess you're the CEO, I'd imagine, of
yes, I
the
guess
president.
you could
He's all
call
the
that.
things of Hardcovers Fit. And I would
Yes.
love just to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, no. So Hardcover Fitness is where fantasy meets fitness. It's basically made for the book release that we love and cherish, and for those who like basically don't get out and moving all that much, that they want to like kind of be in those books all the time. So if you want to get active, let's get in those books and get active. It just instills good habits and allows you to start moving at like a basic pace, but also allows you to like kind of get into a community of people who are doing the same thing. So like I got like 4 programs out right now, which is like an ACOTAR program, a Hunger Games program, one that's on Fourth Wing, which is the first program that we released, and then we have one that's Lord of the Rings. So none of them are like
Ooh.
is essentially like a part of them for reals. Like I didn't have to go out and ask anybody like for
Licensing.
permission to do it. But yeah, there's no licensing to it. But it's mostly just like let's just base it off of the stories that we love so much and just kind of like have a couple exercises that we can do to make it so that we're doing that kind of thing. But also on top of that, like how can we allow this to just affect our daily life? Can we start like meal prepping on this kind of day to like make it so that we have decent meals or just meals in general? The amount of people that in this industry in the book girly community that don't eat.
Hold up. So
Like,
Hardcovers
Yeah.
also
forget to
does
eat.
meal prep work too?
It essentially has me as a guide that allows you to kind of like just instills you and suggests that like, hey, go do it. Because there's no dietitian work inside of it. It's not going to tell you like eat chicken today and eat beef tomorrow. It's going to be more so just like, hey, just eat.
Well, you're
Like,
a licensed
get
personal
some
trainer.
good food in you.
Yeah.
Yes, I am NASM certified, so I have the know-how and everything. I've worked in gyms for maybe 9 months, and then decided like that was not it. So I wanted to help the people in the community that I love so much start to move, because I know a lot of people are sedentary. They read books. You're not really moving when you're reading books. You have a 9 to 5 and you're sitting down in your 9 to 5, not really moving all that much.
Mhm.
And you also like, I want you to live long, and I want you to have a good, healthy life, and I want you to be around. I want you to be able to come to these balls and dance in them. And I want you to be able to fit in that dress that you want so bad. I want you to come hang out and like feel good in those pictures that you take with all. I want you to be on this set with us and have a good time, like doing these kind of short films. And I want you to be able to create the things that you want and just be healthy and happy in your own skin. So that's kind of like the inspiration behind it all. I'm not trying to get anybody jacked by any means. Definitely could if that's your goals.
That's the goal,
But
yeah.
the thing is kind of like, I don't know, I kind of take inspiration from like Violet Sorrengail. She has a need. She has a need that she's like, for those who don't know, the Venom are coming. And so why does she run every day? Because she has to. Because if she's not capable, then she's dead in the water. She's gone. So like I would hate for there to ever be a moment where anybody I care about is in a situation to where they like, if they just had to run a little bit faster, or where they had to be just a little bit stronger, or where they had to be just like a little bit healthier, that they maybe could have changed the outcome of a situation. So I want to be there to make. I just want to be sure that I had that effort, and I put that good word out there for a second, just for people to have that, and they also get a good community with it too that holds accountability. So at the end of the day, it's not something that you have to do, but it's something that like I'd like you to do. So it's just, I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it, and there's a really good community. And a lot of people said that it's already helped them do lose a few pounds, and they look better, they look good, and they enjoy it. So
I love that. And I
yeah.
also, I think for me, my brain goes to recently, well, as we can't see it from here up, but I am very much pregnant right now. I am colossal. And I've had this incredible mind shift because I've had some health complications with this pregnancy. And normally I am the worst, and I do hate going to doctors. But I had this mind shift recently where I want to be healthy right now for her and for my baby to be born healthy and everything be great. But also when I'm a mom, I want to be the best and healthiest version of myself for her. You know what I mean? For her long term. Like I want her to have her mom around for a while, because like Violet, I do have EDS, and there are complications when you don't, take care of your body appropriately, and you do kind of let things go. Or you aren't conscientious, and things can go south quickly. So having a strong body and having strong muscles sometimes to help support certain things from dislocating in certain ways, like that is so important. And I mean, hey, catch me after August. I will be there in hardcovers before you. I will be there. Because that is my goal, is I want to be strong for my daughter, and I want to be a strong and healthy version of myself. And when I do read these books, it does inspire me. I want to be able to think right now I could hike up a mountain. I probably can't. I want to be able to think like, I could potentially win the Hunger Games. I wouldn't. Right now, I mean, hey, when we read these books, we all get inspired.
Ride a dragon.
I could not ride a dragon right now. There's no way my sciatica would
you
let
jump
me.
off a dragon.
My hips would pop out, and my sciatica would be like, "This is you're funny. This is funny.
Right?
This is a good joke. Like I needed this laugh today. Thanks so much." But so yeah, I think that's amazing, because we all want to be our our favorite female main character who's such a badass and who's so strong, and we aspire to be that. And sometimes it's a different way of like actually turning it into a reality. You're literally giving people the chance to become, not just by putting on a costume or, you know, making a video online, like in their everyday reality, they are this strong female main character, and they are essentially becoming their version of their female main character in their life. And that's super freaking
Where can
cool.
people find like hardcovers? Like, what is there a website, or how do they get involved if they want to be a part of it?
So right now, there's a link inside the Hardcovers Fit Instagram. That way you can go to the link in the bio, and if you go to the Ko-fi there, you sign up there via a monthly membership, and that will give you the access to the Discord that all of the information is in. And I'm aware that like Discord definitely has like a learning curve, and that some of us that are either approaching our 30s or like in our late 30s, early 40s, even maybe even older, who knows? But Discord's a foreign wasteland where we have no idea of how to make that work. I still have ways of being able to like get this material to you, and I can still teach you how to like interact at a basic level with the community that's around. And it's a lot of fun. So a lot of it is on the Discord, and that's where everyone shares like the meal that they ate that day, proof that they've worked out that day, the playlist that they're listening to, so they can feel like they're in the moment. So like, hey, I'm really just jazzed about trying to like not die in the Hunger Games, so this is what I'm listening to, and it's like some EDM remix of
Oh, that's so
Are You Coming to the
cool.
Tree or whatever, you know, like things like that,
I didn't realize it
that are
was like
just
a
super
whole
helpful.
community thing too. That's so
Yeah, there's a whole
awesome.
bunch of stuff, and then each tier, like whatever one you're in, whatever one you claim to try to work out, and so say you select the Lord of the Rings one, you get to go to the Shire, and you are in like your own, like with everybody else, you have one own chat group that's like everybody else is doing that with you, that you can hop in and hang out with it. So
Cory, I love
that way you
this.
don't spill the secrets about like what's in your program to anybody that's like doing the Akatar one, but then the Akatar people, they don't know, they can't tell you what's going on in this one, but if you still want to discuss it, you can. And then we do weekly video calls, so that anyone can just like kind of hop in, and like they're confused about what's going on, maybe they have limitations, how we can kind of tweak that. And then if it gets like a little bit too far, then we can talk about personal training online, like because of like maybe like you have a third leg and you don't know why, like maybe we need to work around that somehow, and like a lot of these machines don't work for that, like then hey, let me work one-on-one with you.
So are these
It'll be a different thing, but
able
yeah.
to be done like at a house, or do I need a gym membership?
So a lot of them can be like manipulated to be done at a house. That's just that they're specifically built to be done at a gym. But if you need that at home variation, I have those, and I can provide those for you. I do urge the equipment if you can. No, normally gym memberships are like $10, like Planet Fitness or Crunch or things like that. And generally on your first day there, someone can like show you how to use the machines if you don't have someone there to like help you through that. But I understand that's social. That sucks. People are around, and maybe being a book early going into a gym setting is a little intimidating. I spoke to a client today that said that every time she walks up to the dumbbells, she feels self conscious, and I get that. Um, I urge you to not. I urge you to know that like everyone's there to better themselves, and they're all not judging you. They're more worried about themselves. Um, so don't be scared. The gym's a wonderful place. And if you think about it, I've seen a TikTok where it was like, the gym's really cute. It's a whole bunch of guys, and they go and clap for each other, and they tell each other how handsome each other is. And they're like, love looking big, king. And then they like, here, let me help you with that. And they help each other with the weights getting it up. I'm like, it's so funny watching this from like a book early standpoint. Like, it's
Yeah,
like,
that's so
yeah, no,
funny.
it's really not that like hostile of an environment. But yeah, it's just kind of
Well,
crazy. But no, it is done either in the gym primarily, but it can be done at home. But yeah, no, at the end of the day, I just want you guys to get moving, get a healthier lifestyle, and just part of something a little bit bigger, because you're doing it for your daughter, you're doing it for your family, you're doing it for your dog,
I'm doing it so
because
I
they
can
need to
be a
go on walks, and you need to be
badass,
able to
and
do
then
that.
one day if I ever need it,
yeah.
I can, if
Amen.
some guy ever
Well,
comes up to me, I can defend myself appropriately, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, I thought she was
Absolutely.
this weak little girl."
so
Joke's
strong.
on you, sir. I'm hardcover certified. Sorry.
Amen. I can't teach you
Well,
how to fight, but you'll be able to pick them up.
we do have to wrap it up,
Okay.
but
good.
Cory, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks
for
we
joining
really
us.
appreciate it. Like, no, this was kind of like an all over the place, but hopefully it was fun for you guys to listen. And you guys can, sorry, Cory, your handle. I'm trying to get
It's
it exactly right.
CFowl22, correct?
Yes.
Hey, you got it. There you go. On like all
CFowl22.
platforms.
So you can follow
Yeah.
Cory. There I'll also have his socials linked down below. And you can catch Cory's performance as Azriel in our Chapter 65 fan film coming out this fall.
And also Chapter 70.
And
That's already out.
And in Chapter 70, which is already out on YouTube. So it was great chatting with you, Cory. And we just love you so
We adore
much.
you. Give Dakota all my love as well.
I'll deliver it back at you guys. Thank you.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She probably hears you now. I can hear her sneezing.
All right, guys. Catch us next week for another episode of Whimsy Gossip. And yeah, love you guys.
Love you. Bye.